G'day everybody and welcome back to another episode of Craft by Tim. It's entirely too hot. I just got back from the forge and I wanted to work on something inside where it's slightly cooler. I have to make a turntable for a future project. A turntable is essentially a motorized lazy Susan that you can weld on top of. And by spinning around, it means that you can get nice consistent welds without having to stop and start. The problem with these things is that they are crazy expensive. They start at about $300 and they go up to $1,000 and even past. So what I'm going to try and do is build one for hopefully under, let's say, 150 bucks. Okay, so we're going to start off with all of the electronics so I can work inside today. We have a small 12 volt motor. This has a standard RPM of about 36. We also have a PWM controller. These are actually relatively cheap if you build them yourselves. So there's two different variations of these. You can get this one, which cost me like 58 bucks, and that's pretty much most of my budget already gone. Or you can get kits, and they cost only like $16, so almost a quarter of the price. Apparently relatively simple to put them together, but if you're like me and need to Google which one is positive and negative out of red and black, you have these, and they're fantastic. They even tell you which one's positive and negative. I have a 10 amp fuse just in case, and a switch that I had from another project. Okay, to catch you back up to speed, we have our motor, which is connected to the out portion of our speed controller. We have our positive for the in to a switch, and then to a automotive 10 amp fuse, and then this connects directly to a battery. Now, supposedly, nothing will happen if I connect this, which I'm hoping. Fantastic, nothing is happening. Now I have to somehow work out a way of getting the alligator clips to hold on to these. And nothing a little bit of painter's tape can't do. Okay. Now I shall flick the switch. Excellent, nothing's happened yet. And slowly increase this. And nothing is happening. Interesting. Okay, it was a switch. Fantastic, it works. It does the thing. I made a circuit. Okay, so we now have everything all set up. I have our fuse, which I've switched out for a barrel fuse. We have our switch, our speed controller, and our motor, which I've now got in a little mount. But the next thing is, how do we power? I need 12 volts, at least like 1.7 amps to drive the motor. Oh, hang on. Yes. Surely one of these is... Ah! Perfect!
Output 12 volts, 2 amps.
And on this end we have a 2.1mm plug, so that means that we just need a 2.1mm jack. And with a little bit more wiring, we're now ready to play. So that's plugged in, power on, time for a test. Houston, we have power. let me catch you back up to where we are now. It's different. Last time you saw it, I gave it a test run and I had a few issues. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna sideline this. And then I realized if I sidelined it now, I'd probably never touch it again. It almost worked, so I decided that I would order the parts in my incredibly sleep-deprived state, and I'd just deal with the consequences of that. Foreshadow. I now have a much closer to working prototype, and I'm very excited to show you around it. So basically, I had two main problems. The first problem was that it was spinning too fast. It was a result of my gearing. So I decided to increase the size of the pulley on the table, and that would give it down so that it has higher torque and lower RPM. I went from having about 6.5 revolutions per minute at the slowest speed setting to now only having 1 revolution every 45 seconds, which is still quite fast, but it is a much more manageable speed. If I add a few more pulleys in this system, I could actually slow this down even further. So definitely room for a little bit of growth. The other thing that I was having issues with, I was actually able to address at the same time. Because in my sleep-deprived state, I didn't order another belt, which meant that I had to use the same size belt. And obviously if you have the same size belt and you increase the size of one of the pulleys, you have to move that other pulley closer to it, which meant that I also had to move the motor closer to it. The other problem that I was having was heat. I melted one of the bearing holders, but I was actually able to come up with a really simple solution. I just drilled and tapped 4 M8 holes in this, just stuck some bolts through. And this worked really well because it not only keeps my workpiece away from all the electronics, but it also adds a good layer of air insulation between what I'm welding and also what's going to melt and heat up. Pretty much where I'm going to leave this video. I'm hoping to make a Mark II at some point because this was a really fun project and I want to experiment more with. I think there's a lot of opportunity here for me to mess around with different ideas and actually really push this to work exactly how I want it to. One of the cool things about it in its current state is that it is still fast enough for me to do things like this. Yeah, it's a turntable. I can do whatever I want with it. Anyway, so that's pretty much going to cap it off for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this was a really weird project for me to try and tackle because it's different. I don't mess with electronics very often because I've been burnt too many times, and this is a really good exercise for me to mess with this sort of thing. So thank you for enduring this video with me, and I hope to catch you all in the next episode. In the meantime, do remember to stay safe, happy crafting, and as always, cheers.